home again, so to speak. Little known fact for those of you who are unaware, but I am here in Noblesville, Indiana, and this is a return to my roots somewhat. I am a Hoosier by birth, the only member of my family that can claim that. More on that in a minute. We are here at the Ruoff Music Center. This is a massive, massive amphitheater. Nice big lawn. That pavilion is enormous. I think the capacity is listed at 24,000 here. I can believe it by looking at it. So this is going to be home for us. This is my office for the evening. And right down there is where we're going to be performing. Lynyrd Skynyrd just got done with their sound check. So if you're wondering how sound check works, my band, we are at a level where we're sound checking our own instruments. So when we go out and do our sound check, we do our own sound check. Lynyrd Skynyrd, not so much. Band members aren't at the venue at this point. They've got an entire crew that sound checks everything for them. And when they show up, everything is ready to roll. And that is what you get when you are at the headline spot. Not quite there yet, but working towards it. So if you're curious, my tie to Indiana, it is true I'm a Hoosier by birth. I'm the only member of my family that has that claim. My entire family is from Pittsburgh, and my dad worked at Westinghouse in the 1960s and was transferred to Bloomington, Indiana in the late 1960s, and that was right about the time that I came on the scene. So I spent my first 10 years here in Indiana and moved back to Pittsburgh. My family's from Pittsburgh. I consider myself to be from Pittsburgh, but I'm also going to say that I'm a Hoosier, and I'm okay with that too. So this guy right here is the protagonist from my second video on the channel. This is the pedal board that got left behind accidentally, and I had to figure out how to get it on an airplane down to our first show in Tampa, actually West Palm, but who's counting, without getting it destroyed. So it occurred to me that there may be some folks interested in knowing what I have on my pedal board, because this is my sound right here. There's no amplifier on stage for the bass guitar. This is, there's a XLR output, which you can see right here. This guy goes straight to the PA, front of house as we call it. And this is the sum total. My bass guitar, a wireless into here, and then this is my signal chain. So I wanted to take just a second to talk a little bit about what comprises the signal chain. This will be dry for you folks who are not bass players. Some of my low-end friends might be interested to see what we've got going on here. Maybe it's just my vanity there again as well, but if you're interested, let me know. All right, so a normal signal chain. This little fella right here is a Billy Sheehan overdrive pedal. And it normally is in an off position, and it is a silent, it's like, when it's not engaged, it doesn't color the signal at all. So this is a pass through when it's not working. So it goes from my wireless into my overdrive, into my Haz Labs pedal, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and then into my Zoom B6 multi-effects unit. And this is where the meat and potatoes of the signal processing happens. But this guy right here is kind of important. This is a Haz Labs pedal. So a little history on Spectre bass guitars and preamps loaded into the original NS2, I don't know the original, the Kramer era famous NS2 1980s basses. They had something called a Haz Lab preamp loaded into those basses, and it's a legendary circuit, and for a number of reasons Spectre stopped putting them in their basses. Well, allegedly the individual who was responsible for designing the circuit started his own company. Now it may be somebody else who just got his hands on the circuit design and started that company. I have to fact check that, but the point of the story is Haz Labs creates both this outboard pedal and an onboard preamp that you can load into a bass guitar. I chose this for one simple reason, and that is because most of my basses are passive basses. And so what I wanted to do was to get that classic, grindy, greasy, Haz Haz Labs preamp tone. I wanted to get it on my pedal board, and so this is what it is. I just went and bought this. So this is the onboard preamp circuit that used to be on those famous 1980s Kramer era Spectre basses. It is on my pedal board, and it is an amazing tone monster for even my P-basses. But I run my Spectre bass through this. I'm going to get some hate from the Spectre crowd, but I've actually pulled the tone pump out of my Spectre Euro. I just didn't like it. I didn't expect to not like it, but I don't like it. So this was my solution. I get the Haz Labs circuit right on my pedal board, and it does an amazing job with what is now a passive Spectre bass. Don't hate me too hard on that, but it sounds incredible through this. Okay, all right, so what do we run on the multi-effects unit here? There's 4 things that I'm operating on this unit. The first is a dual comp compressor, and the point of that is that I'm running a different level of compression on my high end and my low end. High end gets a nice, tight, snappy, fast compression. The low end is a much less clamped down compression, so that it gets to breathe a little bit and I don't lose all of my bottom end. That goes into a 8-band graphic EQ, and from there that goes into an Aguilar amp modeler, and then from there that goes into a noise gate, because sometimes when you do things like press on a pedal like this, you get some noise in the signal, and that noise gate means everything is just bone quiet until I'm ready to make some noise, and then all hell can break loose depending upon how I have everything configured. So normally we're running this through this, which is not on, through this, into here, and then straight out of here to the front of the house. And then when I really want to make it nasty, dirty, grindy sounding, we go ahead and step on this guy. And the nice thing about this pedal is that, number one, I can mix in, this is a healthy dose of clean tone mixed in here, so it's really only affecting the high end of my signal again through through this pedal. And there's a healthy blend of just clean bass tone coming through that signal. And then there's also a compression level here, high, mid, and off. And if you put it on the high setting, you're getting the Billy Sheehan sound right there, okay? And if you're putting it on the mid section, you're getting what is, to my ear, a really highly musical, really wonderful sound. It's in terms of overdrive and what that sounds like. So this is the guy that was all the drama, just coming straight out of the gate as we were coming to go to our very first shows here on the tour, and we won't forget it again. And let me know what you think of this little overview. If this is interesting stuff, this is about 6 minutes that I've spent on this. So again, if you're not a bass player, this might have been a little bit dry. And if you are a bass player, I'd be curious to see what you have to think about what we're doing with the tone here. Sounds great. Soundman loves it. It sounds awesome, awesome, awesome in an amphitheater. Just saying. 40 years of trying to dial something in, this is what I've come up with. I'm pretty happy with it. Starting to wrap up here in Indianapolis. I think it is show 11. Starting to lose track of the time. But either way, doesn't get old, folks. I'm not taking this for granted. I'm enjoying every minute of it.